Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground.
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank. Dude, I'm your host, Strider Wilson. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks, dude.
What up?
Freaking post it up right now, dude. Actually, dude, Aaron, dude, let's I gotta leave right now. Actually, let's stop recording. Psych, dude, April Fools. Classic April Fools. Today we're getting into the origin of April Fools. And I'll tell you this. When I was growing up, the April Fools pranks, I was annoyed. I would say, shut up. I was like an old man. I would strap my Velcro shoes. I'd put on my transition lenses. I'd adjust my adult diaper.
Unclip your cell phone from your belt.
Unclip myself from my belt. Exactly. Turn off the Fox News, and I'd say, shut up. No, I don't have any time for tricks. Don't try to trick me. Then, you know, now with my boys Chad and JT, we do a lot of quote unquote pranks, you know? But a lot of times the way we prank is, you know, at least myself, when I'm looking down my nose and tilting my glasses and saying, well, the way that we prank, if I'm going to be very French about it, is actually the way we produce this prank is the joke is not on the individual, the mock, if you will. It is on the self. This is a joke of internalization and self and discovery of who am I in this moment. Maybe that's what we're going for when I'm talking about my small wiener in public. But we're going to break down the origin of April Fools. But before we do that, I want to hit a few fun segments. I got a new segment. This is the first time we're doing this segment. The first, just because I'm like, you know what? Let's get the info out there. I like my infotainment. I want to give you quick hitters. I want, Aaron, just throw out a first name, any first name that pops in your head. The first name that pops in your head.
Jeffrey.
Okay. That's a great one. So this segment is called Famous First. We're going to look up, and I put into my search engine here, extraordinary individuals from history with the first name, and thanks to Aaron, Jeffrey. Okay? Now, I'm not going to look. Jeffrey's is a challenging one because I really am trying to think of a famous, like if you would have said Aaron, I'd be like, okay, Aaron Burr, sir.
Yeah.
And then you. But
yeah.
Jeffrey.
I think I know what's going to come up.
Jeffrey Rush, the actor.
Could be.
But I'm trying to think. I want to.
G.
Yeah, it's G. He spelled it wrong. And just so you know, when I searched it, I did not do Geoffrey.
Yeah.
Okay? Not Geoffing over here, dude.
Yeah.
This is Jeffrey. Okay? I got to try to get one off the top of my dome. Famous Jeffries.
I think Dahmer is going to come up.
Whoa, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's unhealthy.
Yeah,
but,
it shouldn't be extraordinary.
He's not extraordinary. He's infamous.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay.
Jeffrey Wright, the actor, he's good.
I'm trying to think of, this is, okay. Dude, one of them that counts as number one. Do you want to know what it is? Ja Rule. What? He's technically a Jeffrey, maybe.
Oh, Jesus.
According to this website. Yeah, Jeffrey Atkins. Then you know who you got? J.J. Abrams.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And then Aaron. Right after that?
Dahmer.
Yeah. Also Jeffrey Sachs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the hell he did.
Banking, right? Sachs.
Schmoling, dude.
Sachs. Goldman Sachs?
Yeah.
He's the other half.
Friggin' Sachs, dude. Jeffrey Katzenberg, what up, dude? DreamWorks.
Yeah.
What up, dude? Jeffrey was a good one, Aaron. It's all actors and stuff, man. I want people from history. The only guy that's coming up is Jeffrey Amherst, the first Baron of Amherst. Cool. Jeff Bridges.
Maybe it's too modern a name somehow.
Yeah, it feels a little bit modern, yeah. Anyway.
Certainly that spelling.
Yeah. But I'm not going to, just out of principle, I won't spell Geoffrey.
Yeah.
fictional Joffrey, of course, of Game of Thrones.
Well, it's just Joffrey.
That's true. But if anyone spells it Geo, then I will say Geoffrey.
Yeah.
Out of disrespect, they'll go, that's not how you say it. I go, that's how I say it, dude. What up? What up?
The extraordinary mascot of Toys R Us. Jeffrey,
Oh, yeah.
the giraffe.
Jeffrey the Giraffe. That's probably the most famous Jeffrey in history right there. Jeffrey the Giraffe.
Sure.
What up? Remember Toys R Us? I used to be so stoked to go in there, dude.
Miss it.
One of my worst memories I have was working as valet. We do these like courier services for guests. Christmas Eve, I was supposed to be off work at 4:30. Then I was going to drive from Beverly Hills down to Orange County. What up, San Clemente, to make it in time for Christmas Eve dinner. Would have made it with plenty of time. Might have even been able to have a whiskey sour. Instead, the manager at the time goes, hey, man, a guest just called. They need you to go get breastfeeding formula. And the concierge who researched that, and they happened to sell this formula at Toys R Us, which is pretty funny. Kind of makes sense, I guess, though.
I guess, yeah.
And this was Christmas Eve at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
I was there for 2.5 hours. I missed dinner. I was so mad. I was like in the mind, I was like, this is irresponsible parenting. How do you not have extra formula on you when you're traveling? Just sitting there, dude, and then watching some of the saddest dads you've ever seen in your life. Just buying like a, remote control car, which I'm actually like, that's a good ass choice. It's a good ass choice for your kid, but
I don't know.
Just
those things never last.
No, but it's all about, come on. It's all shit anyway.
Yeah.
You open it. It's for that one moment of, yeah. Then you play with it for an afternoon. It breaks. And then the dad goes straight back to Cheetah's, the strip club. Goes from seeing Jeffrey the Giraffe to seeing Nikita the Cheetah. During regular business hours on Christmas. Dude, strip club on Christmas? Let's go. That's a movie right there.
Yeah.
That's the movie I want to see. And speaking of movies, takes us to our next segment. We've done it before. It's called Recast It Now, Yesterday's Movies with Today Actors. And the movie that I'm going with, I know you've seen it, Aaron. Our audience probably hasn't. It's a movie from 1986. So maybe, okay, could you think? And it's a one-word film. And your hint is this. Awesome. That's your hint.
I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time was Best Picture 1986, Platoon.
Oh, that's a sick ass. Okay, that's a great movie. That's not the movie that I'm doing, but I probably should. We probably should do that. The movie I picked was Rad.
Oh, yeah.
The BMX biking scene. Lori Loughlin. I mean, the main dude in it, I don't know if he was ever in anything else.
No.
Bill Allen. Crew is his name.
Talia Shire in there, though.
Yeah, what up?
From Rocky and The Godfather.
If I'm going to recast it, you know who I'm going to put as Bill Allen? My boy Chad Kroger.
Chad, yeah.
My boy Chad Kroger. And if it's not Chad Kroger, do you know who I'd put?
J.T. Parr.
I would absolutely put J.T. Parr in there. I would rather have him play the role of like the businessman who's coming to buy it. I think that's played by like Duke Best. Jack Weston. I remember it's like Mongoose bikes, which I had one. Speaking of Christmas, I got a Mongoose for Christmas.
Nice.
Because I'm a spoiled little bitch.
Yeah.
And I liked it, dude. Then I freaking took that thing right off a 6-stair, broke my arm. What up? Lori Loughlin, honestly, dude, she could probably still play that role today. She's aged with grace.
Well, I don't know if she has grace, but she's aged well.
True. She, did cheat to get her kids into USC in the most hilarious way ever.
Yeah.
One of the most hilarious ways ever. Which I don't even mind. It's just the tax write-off that they try to get out of. That right there, annoying. You try to, you got a little greedy with that one.
Well, they're also just so wealthy. They could have paid their way in.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Her husband owns the Target's
Massimo.
Yeah.
Which is if you were at summer camp and I saw a kid with Massimo board shorts, I was like, where you from, Colorado, dude? Huh. Immediately I was like, dude, here, take these rusty board shorts, take these billabongs. Let me hook you up. Also, those old school board shorts had hardcore Velcro right where your weenie was. And I'm telling you right now, my little dong was getting chafed left and right, dude, on the zip line. And banana boating was brutal on my hog.
There's been a
But it was
revolution.
just so fun.
A revolution in swim trunks.
Really?
Yeah, now they're like all not mesh in the crotch anymore. It's all like another pair of shorts inside. That's
That's nice, like the Viore style.
Yeah,
I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I'm in on mesh style swim trunks. That's the thing. You either had swim trunks, lame. You live in Colorado. Go back to Denver. If you had board shorts, there was no lining. Legit. What up? Free balling it.
I never had board shorts.
Yeah, but you're cool. You're cool, Iris. You were wearing a Speedo. That was also a nice move. Always the jokester in a Speedo. Who do you cast as Lori Loughlin? Dude, I'm just going to say Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya.
No.
This is also a sick movie for those of you who haven't seen it. It's about like this kid who rips at BMX biking. There's a famous song. Is it Corey Hart? Is it Send Me an Angel? Or is it I Wear My Song?
No, send me an angel. It's
Send me an angel.
Real talk? No, what's the name of that band? I have that.
That's the song. It's not Corey Hart, right?
No.
Air? Is it Air?
No. I only have
While
the
you look
Scorpions
that up,
version.
the coolest guy involved in this film is actually the director, Hal Needham. This guy was the highest paid stuntman in Hollywood for a long time. I was like, he was a badass, dude.
Real Life is the name of the band.
Real life, nice. So Hal Needham, he broke 56 bones, broke his back twice, punctured his lung, and knocked out a few teeth. Stuntman, badass. Did 4,500 TV episodes, 310 feature films as a stunt coordinator, stuntman. He became like a second unit director and then ultimately a director. So he did Rad. He was the right guy to do this. This is a movie about BMX biking.
Mm-hmm.
There's stunts involved in this.
He's what Brad Pitt's character is based on in Once Upon a Time. And
That's who this guy, okay.
Because he was Burt Reynolds' stuntman.
Dude, that's who he was. Hal Needham. This guy's a legend. I was stoked just to recast Rad and then found out this rad information on Hal Needham. What a beast. Smoking the Bandit, Cannonball Run. Also, his directorial style, first director to put in the outtakes, which, as moviegoers, we all love. You know, when the movie's done, they put in the fun little blooper segments. Famously, he'd put in stunt bloopers, and then, other genres would put in, funny outtakes, actors break, and stuff like that. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that, Aaron?
I wonder if he got that from Jackie Chan or Jackie Chan got that from him.
Jackie Chan had to have gotten it from him. Because this was
Jackie's been
before.
doing this
Well,
for a
Jackie
long
was
time.
doing it in China. He was famous in China. Maybe this is true. This is my Western lens. Could have been happening in China. He made this. Hal made this popular in Western cinema. But this movie's from 1986. Jackie comes on the scene in America early 90s.
Yeah. Where we really
So-
got a good taste of him, yeah.
That's where we got a good taste with Rumble in the Bronx. And of course, the outtakes in those were just so sick. It's the best part with his broken foot, that Jackie Chan that puts that like
Yeah.
shoe sleeve that looks exactly like a shoe over his cast.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Jackie Chan has like some of the highest net worth of any actor out there.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, I'll tell you, I've seen him at the hotel. Actually pretty tall.
Oh, wow.
Like 5'9", maybe 5'10".
Wow.
Like a pretty big dude. And dude looks amazing.
Yeah.
Full head of hair, super cool. Was like, what up?
He's got a full head of hair because he's got to cover that dent in his head where there's no
Yes,
there's no
yes.
skull.
Exactly. Dude, he's the man, bro.
Yeah.
So, Hal Needham, what a beast. Okay, let's get into our historical share. I teased this up top because I love teasing, not just in lovemaking, but also in podcasting. April Fools. I looked up who's the first dude who got tricked. Couldn't find that out. Could have been some king. Kings used to pay fools or jesters to, perform belches. One belch, one fart, one joke, and then your family would go get paid. pretty great. Now, historians speculate April Fool's dates back to 1582, although it could have been going on well before this. This is just documentation and most likely was going on before 1582, and, we'll get into other evidence of that. This goes back to France, where it has to do with a calendar switch when we went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Julian, Julius Caesar; Gregorian, Pope Gregory. And Gregorian is what we're using today. Called for the Council of Trent in 1563. In the Julian calendar, as in the Hindu calendar, the new year began with the spring. Is it equinox or equinox? Equinox. I don't know. You got to ask your barista ask a white dude with dreads. They'll know how to pronounce that word, and they'll probably be really into it, and they'll know when the next full moon is. Okay. Anyway, the spring equinox would fall on or around April 1st in the Julian calendar. And when we switched over to the Gregorian calendar, people who failed to recognize the new year as being January 1st would still be celebrating the new year on April 1st, and they would be fools. So they would be April Fools. There you go.
Wow.
With that went, came jokes or pranks, and people would be like, "Oh, you're so silly. Hey, man, Happy New Year's," even though it's not New Year's. So that's kind of the origin of these pranks. What's the biggest? Did you ever pull a prank, Aaron?
No, I always forget. I forget that it's even April 1st when it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
And then I read something and I go, "Oh, that's wild." Oh, yeah, it's April 1st.
Now it's like a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Companies use it. Makes me mad, dude. I don't like when companies like to, be liked on a personal level. But I mean, just give me the product and get out of my life and charge me a fair rate. Okay? Get out. Unless you're a sponsor of this podcast. In that case, what up, dude? Thank you very much. Stoked to have you, dude. You're putting art into the world, and that's benevolent, so legit. Okay? So historians have also linked April Fool's Day to festivals such as Hilaria, Latin for joyful, also where we get the word hilarious from.
Also, Alec Baldwin's wife's name.
Really?
Maybe. There's some controversy about that.
Baldwin's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, he does.
Too much stuff going on, dude.
Yeah.
Just dial it back. Okay, just a big old, just down by half.
Dial it back. Maybe don't shoot people on set.
Yeah, maybe try to hire the right
Armorer.
The right armorer, exactly.
Yeah, Hal Needham wouldn't have done that.
Hal Needham would have never let that slide. So celebrated in ancient Rome, so obviously this is well before 1582. Part of the cult of Cybele, Cybele, probably saying that wrong. Got to brush up on my Latin. It involved people dressing up in disguises and mocking fellow citizens and even magistrates, and was said to be inspired by the Egyptian legend of Isis, Osiris, and Seth. Gotta say, Isis, Osiris, Isis now has its own, denotation here in our modern culture, but Osiris, one of the sickest god names you can have, also is one of the sickest skate shoes of all time. If you're Seth, kind of like the not the coolest god name. What up, Seth? Hey, what do you do in the, there's no pantheon of, there might be quite of a pantheon of Egyptian gods. I think the Egyptian region of Khufu. I don't know exactly what Seth did, but probably was like, just upper decked other gods' toilets.
Yeah, it's the name of James Spader's character in Pretty in Pink.
Oh,
Rich British bag.
Yep, classic.
Yeah,
classic.
got that stink on it.
Spader rules. And so I would say, Aaron, I didn't even know this. And when we shot that, actually it was October when we shot the Joel Osteen video, but I kind of am celebrating April Fools by dressing up as a person of note, televangelist, and going around in an ancient Roman way. Maybe, this cult of Cybele Maybe I'm a member. Maybe in a past life, dude.
Yeah.
Just keep it Hindu. So I love it, dude. Maybe I should dress up as Joel Osteen on April Fool's. Actually, I am going to the Riot Comedy Festival in Houston. When this comes out, I'll be there. So if you're listening, cruise out.
Nice.
I'll be performing all around town. And I'm going to be bringing the suit, dude. Also tied to the vernal equinox or equinox.
I think it's equinox.
I think it is too. I should ask someone who has a gym membership there. I should ask someone drinking a Michelob Ultra. Hey, how do you pronounce equinox? So ways different cultures have celebrated it. You know, it's mainly a Western culture phenomenon. You know, the Chinese New Year is different. I'm sure they have their own pranks going on over there, which are legit that I didn't focus on for this episode, but maybe in a future episode we can check that out. But in 1800s Britain, they would do this hunting the gawk, G-O-W-K. People were sent on phony errands. Gawk's a word for a cuckoo bird or a symbol of a fool. And it was a 2-day celebration. April 1st, then April 2nd would be Tally Day, which involved pranks played on people's derrieres, such as pinning their rear end, pinning fake tails or kick me signs on them, which actually that has translated into, you know, I gotta say in grade school I would put a kick me, you know, anytime you got a name tag on a field trip, I would put kick me on someone's back. No one ever did it. Thank goodness. The Great Spaghetti Harvest, did you ever hear of that?
No. I've heard of the spaghetti incident.
This was in BBC, pulled off what still ranks as one of the most famous April Fool's pranks of all time when they said, this was before pasta became a large staple and also, you know, maybe more of a staple in America with the, you know, Italian American population. But in Britain, it was mainly just what up British people. And so there was something called the Swiss spaghetti harvest. And I guess people in Switzerland were eating it too. And people listening to the BBC radio in Europe, they're like, oh yeah, we had a large spaghetti harvest. And they even put like pictures of spaghetti on trees and people, and like looking like workers like taking it down and people thinking that spaghetti grew on trees. So take that.
Reminds me of the song On Top of Old Smoky.
What's that?
It's about a giant meatball, but then it got converted into like a gun thing in a kid's song. You remember that?
No.
You guys never sang that?
No.
It was like
when I was growing up, I only sang religious and patriotic songs. So all my father would allow within the homestead.
I don't remember all the words. It's like on top of Old Smoky, all covered in blood. That's what it became. I shot my poor teacher with an M61, which isn't a gun. Yeah, that was the conversion after it, but it was originally about a meatball or something.
Like the funny song, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like kids would sing, hi ho, it's off to work we go. Hand grenades and razor blades, hi ho. Yeah, I remember
that's just
like singing that on the bus. I think that's like an army anthem thing too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I remember we would sing that on the bus. This guy, this was a prank that I looked up that I actually enjoyed. This guy went so far out of his way to fake a volcanic eruption in Alaska. Absolutely hilarious. He goes, Mount Edgecumbe volcano in Alaska erupted. This guy reached out to local media, rented a helicopter, and brought a bunch of tires up to this like peak of this local like mountain like near town to freak everyone out in the town, and started a tire fire. So it looked like the volcano was smoking, even though it was just like a mountain. Geez. And like freaked everyone out in the town below him. Like when this ominous cloud of plume, this ominous smoke like billows up from the mountain, and the town folks in the street, they're like, oh my gosh, this dormant volcano is about to erupt. The police and fire service were in on the joke with this guy actually. But he had forgotten to inform the Coast Guard, and they flew over it to inspect the situation. But instead of lava, they saw just tires, and he painted on the side of the thing, April Fool. I'm like, this guy really went out of his town for a prank.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say he went up with a bunch of tires and then let him roll.
Oh, roll down, yeah.
Which should still be a kind of a prank.
But it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I guess these pranks are like kind of big time dad jokes. Like dad jokes are just for getting through the pain of daily life, I think.
Yeah.
And then this one is like, this guy must have been really hurting on the inside to trick his whole town. It's like, I'm going to get you all.
Convince his whole town that they might die soon.
You are going to die of gas, if not lava soon. And then you go, no, you won't, but just remember that. Remember how you felt.
Unless it was
you sons of bitches.
Clever marketing campaign for Dante's Peak.
Exactly, or Firestone tires. All right, so that's a little April Fool's action for you. Hopefully you celebrated it well. Play a light joke on those, bring it in, dap it up. What up, dude? Glad to be here with you still.
Yeah, don't announce that you're pregnant on Facebook. It's been done.
Yeah, very annoying. Don't trick your grandma. Trust me, if you've got, moms and grandma and mother-in-laws like I do, you do not want to play that trick. They will not appreciate it. Let's play a little Help Hurt Bone.
Okay.
Before we freaking bone out of here. Okay, Help Hurt Bone. Here are our 3 candidates for the day.
Okay.
Also, I like playing this game because you get a few figures from history in there.
Sure.
Boom, quick hitters. And I thought when I was doing this, Aaron, because I want your answers as well, of course, that this was going to be a layup. It's actually not really a layup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Help Hurt Bone. Cyrus the Great, founder of the Persian Empire, famously liberated the Jews from Babylon, allowed them to return to their homeland, and practiced religious tolerance within his empire. Later on, there was rulers like, Darius, Xerxes, that weren't such great rulers, but he himself was a pretty legit dude. Assumed control when his father died. He assumed control of the empire at an early age, went on to be a conqueror. So 530 BC, Cyrus the Great. Or Carl Linnaeus, this is 1707 to 1778 is when he lived. He developed a system for classifying plants. Famous quote is, God created, Linnaeus organized. He was Swedish. He would use, he obviously like Latin names for plants, but he would also, and at first I was going to be like, I'm annoyed, dude. I don't need to memorize these plant names. But he would use names sometimes to rip on enemies of his. So like if there was a plant that he didn't like or a schmoll looking flower, he would like put like a German dude's name in there that it was like a rival scientist, and he would call it that. So I kind of like that of him. And then there's Henry Wurz. Speaking of Germans, German American. He was the Confederate POW like camp doctor operator, like overseer of a POW camp, and was responsible in Andersonville, Georgia, responsible for tens of thousands of deaths of Union soldiers. Now, this might be the guy who you want to hurt, but you did a little more reading, and early on in the Civil War, there was a prison swap system because neither side had the resources to. Soldiers in the field were dying of dysentery and starvation, even more so than gun wounds. That's what killed more soldiers in the Union in the Civil War than actual warfare, was like disease and malnourishment. And then in the POW camp, that's exacerbated. So both sides would just do prison swaps oftentimes. But then in 1863, the war heats up, communication breaks down between the sides. And this guy, Henry Wurz, there's actually documentation of him saying, look, I need more resources. I need more medicine. Excuse me. Medicine to help out these soldiers. But it wasn't granted by Jefferson Davis or the higher ups in the Confederate ranks. So maybe was Henry Wurz just a scapegoat, or was he a POS of the POW camp? Yeah, I could have said that better. Was he the POS of the POW camp? What I meant to say.
Was he butchering people, or was he just
Yes.
understaffed?
Exactly. In hindsight, maybe he was the scapegoat. In any case, he was.
If he's a legit doctor, he's got to swear an oath. First, do no harm.
That's true.
I've seen the pit.
And he was a doctor. In any case, he wasn't going to recover from being hung. They hung him.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Johnson said, I don't care. Andrew Johnson said, someone's going to answer for this. Probably should have been
Andrew Johnson,
Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederacy.
Not a good president. So
yeah, not a good president. Also, he didn't care about the facts. He didn't look at the facts of the case in this trial. because he did have there was due process, but whatever you want to call due process. In any case, Aaron, let's play a little Help Hurt Bone. Cyrus the Great, Carl Linnaeus, Henry Wurz.
Shoot. I don't really want to hurt any of them. That's the hard part.
That's the difficulty of this game.
Yeah.
You can pick what level you hurt them at.
I guess I'm still going to hurt Wurz.
I think that's the move.
Because he's still on the rebel side.
He was still a Confederate. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though he was probably like, I need gauze or something.
He's like, give me gauze, give me
easy. Yeah, I need gauze, I need a little painkiller.
Yeah, I need painkiller.
Nope. So he's like, all right, I'm just sawing legs then.
All I'm doing is amputating people. But also it's like these were POWs, there were some injuries, but also it was like kind of healthy soldiers who maybe surrendered who then just didn't get fed. So they wouldn't give him supplies, and maybe he wasn't proactive enough about getting it. In any case, I think that's
If only we could live off the land in this country.
Right? Yeah, if only, prisons used to be self-sustainable. Maybe they should have made these ones. But in Andersonville, Georgia, I don't know what the crop was down there, but
they're just eating peanuts all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe peaches, dude.
That'd be all right. Yeah, peaches and peanuts.
In any case, I think that's the proper hurt. I'm going to hurt him as well.
Yeah.
And then
let's see.
Who do you want to help? And then who do you want to bone? Consensually. This would be consensual in this fiction
there's
line.
Some handsome Persian dudes out there.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So maybe bone Cyrus.
I kind of like that move. He's a ruler.
Yeah.
He's probably good at sex. He would have a harem or a tent where there's maybe an orgy taking place. Ooh. Remember in the movie 300, there's people wearing goat masks boning and stuff like that. So that's cool.
True.
I think I saw someone with 3 titties in there. So you could get a glimpse of that. I think that's a great choice. That's exactly my choice. You would be boning in a tent. You'd probably be able to be bathed as well in 530 BC before and maybe or after boning. So that's a great choice by you.
And then I guess that means we're helping Linnaeus.
Yeah, I'd help him by saying, dude, stop using these Latin names, bro.
Yeah.
Just call a cactus a cactus. You don't need to call it, whatever. Call weed Yoda's brain. I'd make him have all chill-ass names for plants, dude. Come on, bro.
Or more just gibberish.
Yeah.
This here is a schmoopy.
This is the schmoopy, dude. This is the schmoopy. What plant would the schmoopy be? Schmoopy's a pretty good name for a weed.
Yeah.
The schmoopy.
Some sort of bush.
Yes. Dude, that's just another bush, dude. Sage is pretty sick. Everything should be sage. Actually, those are pretty sick-ass names for plants. All right, dude. So before we bone out of here, dude, just want to do a quick, appreciation for some local biz. And you can't tell because I'm wearing a backwards lid right now because that's how I do my hair in the morning. I either use a beanie depending on the weather or just my hat. Also, I am wearing an ATC hat right now at the ATC studio, which is a little bit, I feel like, kind of like wearing the T-shirt of the band at the concert that you're at, which, as we all know,
there's no law against it. Jeremy Piven said it in a movie. I know the guy who wrote it. It's fine.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, by that rationale, like, should you not wear a Dodgers jersey to a Dodgers game? Like, should you have to wear like another team's jersey at the game? Which is funny because at sports, like if you wear a different team's jersey, like if the two teams that aren't playing and you're wearing like the other team's jersey, it's like, all
that's
right,
weird.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's a little bit not even a faux pas. Is that from PCU?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's. I used to think it was law, but it's not. It's definitely not. When else are you going to be around a bunch of like-minded individuals?
I agree. It's kind of nice.
You should be wearing the shirt.
Maybe you shouldn't wear the one that you made that day. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Supercuts located at 1121 North San Fernando Boulevard, Suite A in Burbank. We are currently open until 7 p.m.
Nice.
Press 1 to hear the current wait time. Press 2 to find out today's salon hours. Press 3 to hear a list of the stylists working today. Press 4 if you'd like to check into the queue for a service today. Press 0 or stay on the line to speak to someone at the salon.
I want to speak to someone.
We are transferring your call to the salon. Please hold.
Thank you for calling Supercuts. Please be advised this call may be recorded for training and quality purposes.
Please be advised, this call is being recorded by History is Dank.
How can I help you?
What up, dude? My name's Strider, and I was in there for a haircut yesterday. I think,
Okay.
oh man, I forget the guy's name. He was super chill.
Let me see.
He had,
What time did you come in?
I was in there around 5. Anyways, it's good news. All I want to say is, I'm stoked on my haircut, dude. Like, usually I get a bad haircut, and I'm telling you right now, and yeah, I walk out of there just looking like a walking dong, you know? And
Okay, yeah, no, I get you.
and my boy yesterday did a great job. He's a Dodgers fan, and he ripped it. So
Yesterday you were in here.
yeah, so I wanted to leave like a review.
What was your name?
Strider.
Strider, gotcha.
I hope this is the right location.
Your review.
Maybe it's the wrong one, Fernando.
Let me see why, because I'm not seeing anyone by that name. Did you go to Hollywood Way? This is San Fernando.
I was at Hollywood Way.
Hollywood. Okay, yeah, so
Yep.
that's a different store.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm freaking stoked on this haircut. So I appreciate what all Supercuts are doing, dude. And I appreciate everything.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, stay stoked and keep clipping it right, because I'm feeling tight.
All right, boss. You have a good one.
Too late. All right, let's call Hollywood Way.
I've definitely gotten my haircut at that location.
Yep. I think that is the San Fernando one. Is it the Hollywood Way? The one over by Urbane?
It's got to be, yeah. San Fernando's next to a nail place. My boy Liam, check him out. It's great.
Your boy Liam?
Yeah.
Maybe we should give Liam a shout out, dude.
We just did.
You're right.
I don't know if he's still there anymore. I didn't see him last time, but
I'd love to have gotten him on the phone. You know what? Maybe I won't bother him. People are working. I don't want to bother him. we spread this. We spread the stoke. You know what I'm saying, dude? They're feeling it. This is no April Fool's, because it's legit one of the better haircuts I've ever gotten in my life, and I'm fired up. So hope you guys stay fired up, dude. It's nice to be walking around not with a dong cut, looking like a walking weenie. Aaron, you're an absolute beast. You guys, we got some good information on this one. Watch Rad. You know, you prank someone by with benevolently. You know what I mean? Prank them by being like, "Hey, dude, I found $20 in your pocket." They're like, "What? Psych! I found $69 in your pocket. Let's go to dinner together. What up? Well, let's go get Supercuts together, dude." Because I'm not gonna lie, those haircuts get pretty expensive now. Because I also do a shampoo. All right, freaking stay stoked, dude. We'll catch you guys on the next one, dude.